Hi, and welcome to the Sky magazine coverage of the World Under-23 Ultimate Championships here in London. We're getting ready for the Italy versus Mexico game in the Open Division. It's Liam Grant here and David. David, how do you feel about this game?
I think these, and you can see here the Mexicans are just getting into their both teams probably want to get some wins early on the board, and I know the Mexicans have beat the Spanish this morning after being almost quite late to the pitches. But I mean, anyone can come out with this. It's a bit of a bigger squad for the Italians, slightly smaller squad for the Mexicans. So maybe the legs will eventually win. What do you think, Liam?
Yeah, the Italians are a very strong squad, being coached by Davide Mori, famous and infamous in some parts of Ultimate, but has done so much for Italian youth Ultimate. And you can see him now talking to Italians in a circle. Sure, he's giving them great advice. Coming in a higher seed and a roster of 28 players. I can see this Italian team doing really well. I saw them warming up and they have such beautiful throws and form that I think the Mexicans might struggle to compete with them.
Yeah, I think I would agree. I mean, the Mexican nation in Ultimate is a lot younger, but they're going to be very emotional. And if they get a couple breaks up, you never know, right? That sort of momentum, like we saw yesterday in the GB game, can be really effective against what you would predict as a stronger team. So we'll see how the Mexicans come out. But like you said, the Italians have a lot more form and experience that they can around with. And you'll see many looks from the Italians in terms of offense and defense.
The Italians have Lucas Contino on their team, who apparently plays over in Portland. I don't know if he's just over there in semester or is he full-blown American, but apparently he's going to be handling a lot of the D-line, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Yeah, I know the Mexicans had a few warm-up tournaments playing in their National Ultimate Tour 1 and 2, so that should give them a bit of experience. It's great for them to come over here for this event. It's a long way to travel for them, and the other teams are really excited to have them here. They bring a lot of vibrance to the Ultimate community.
Yeah, we definitely agree with that after we saw the mixed team in Lecco, and they had some of the most sought-after jerseys. It's like silver with multiple color front, and I mean, everyone I know was trying to get hold of them, but here again, they bring, as you say, their vibrancy, their color, and I'm really excited to see the way they play as well. I mean, we've heard a lot from the likes of Elliot Trotter and Liam Rosen when they went out to play with, I believe it was with Phoenix for the Mexican Nationals a couple of years ago. So we know that they have a lot of passion and that they're training hard to be the best. So we'll see what they can show us here. And this is the first time, I believe, that they've been streamed on this stage, at least, by Sky magazine. So let's take in the game. I think Mexico are starting on offense with the Italians pulling to them now. I think we're about ready to go. So look forward to a fiery game here from the Mexican and Italian national open squads here in London.
A little difficult to see the Mexican numbers here, so I'll do my best to keep the name updates. We got Juan Manuel, likely going to pick up the disc as they're we'll see who goes to it. Mexicans picking up this big fake deep, sends it anyway. Number 17 trying to chase it down, and a great D by Italian defense. Number 22 getting in front of his man. And this appears to be a call on the field. Number 22, David, calling it back, apparently foul on the mark. And a great D by Lucas Contino, the man playing in Portland. So it's going back to number 22, David, who might look for that hook again. Looking at line, can't get it off. Getting higher in the stall count, goes for the big swing, it's hanging up. Great pressure by Italian defense.
Yeah, that was very good defense. And we saw Lucas Contino again on D, but he's picked up straight away to number 4, Patazzi. Patazzi back to Contino, goes down the line with a beautiful low flick to number 3, who goes for the goal, but just like yesterday, wind making trouble on the end zone line there. Maybe there's something coming out at the end of the stands there, but number 3 couldn't quite get it to his player. That's Patalini, and now Mexico back on offense.
Yeah, David Gonzalez picking up this disc again. Seems to be their main handler on this O-line. Looking upfield, the Italians doing well to shut him down. Getting high in the stall count, not seeing much options. Oh, and a great D again. That Italian defense looking beautiful there.
Yeah, they're not letting up. They're really tight. Contino, almost picking up, but told to get off the disc by Batazzi. Batazzi looking straight away for his dump. Doesn't like always given, but goes backwards anyway. Nice grab by Contino. Contino back to Batazzi. I think we're going to see a lot of this pairing. Already all we've really seen back to number 35, who goes straight for the goal. Oh, and a nice grab under pressure for number 1, Mattia Trebi. That was some really nice offense after they've got those couple of turns. One thing I've already noticed from the Mexicans is they're not upfield, they're not quite cutting all the way through. They're stopping their cuts a bit short, which means that they're not committing fully in one direction, so the defenders know pretty much what they want. If they cut under and they're too short, the defender will step round, go deep, and just get in the way, which just clogs up the space that they want to create. And I think the Italians are doing a good job at closing down that Mexican offense.
Yeah, Lucas Contino there and Batazzi doing really well to run that D-line offense for Italy. Looked really calm and collective on the disc. We'll see what the Mexicans do now, the second chance of offense. Great break from Italy to start. You see Italy using the whole roster now, a whole fresh D-line on. 28 players, a lot to go through. Hopefully they can still find chemistry with such a big squad. Lucas Contino staying on this D-line again. Going to play another one in a row. I'm going to pull this one. They're looking good in their beautiful Italian blue. Big floaty backhand pull from Lucas. This one may just drift out of bounds. David Gonzalez picking up this one again. The Mexicans seem to be isolating a player in the middle. Makes that first cut. And comes back for the big under. Good stuff. There's number 16, Ivan Lopez. Back to David. Physical mark there from Italian, getting nice and low. Beautiful throw there by David. Mexicans starting to look a bit more comfortable on the disc now. Ricard Diaz with a nice high release backhand. A nice upline throw to David. The deep shot is there. He gets nice and low. Oh, it's hanging up in the air. Oh, and a great layout by Italian defense. That one hung up there just for time for him to get a bid. Huge bid there. Puts the cap back on after that one. That was number 35, Valario.
Yeah, beautiful bid right on the back of the end zone. He kind of had to make that play. I think the Mexican would have come down with it if he hadn't got horizontal. So now, Italy with the disc on the middle of their end zone with number 7, Michel Proni. He swings across. Centers to 35. The man of the hour with a fantastic layout D. Number 10 takes the contact, gets it back to number 8. Number 8 goes centers to number 7. Proni looking deep. It's hanging for 10. He reads it wonderfully. Spizzo wants the easy goal. Oh, and takes an inside break, but he can't quite hold on to it. That's number 70. Not 70, it must be 50, Zeppa. I think he's calling injury. He did land quite heavily on that shoulder. And we've got a bit of wind whipping up here. See with the flags. Left to right on your screen. Mexico now back on offense.
Yeah, David again picking it up. Seems to be anchor of this offense. Has some beautiful low release flicks. Goes for the back end there to number 16, but I don't think he knew it was for him. A miscommunication there. Contino picking up again.
Takes on the open man, number 10, Spizzo. call on the field, potentially a pick. And a small discussion, but it goes back to Contino. Oh, no, they can't seem to make their minds up. There's a bit of discussion between the Mexican players probably about when the pick occurred and whether it affected play. But it looks like he just catches up, and they're amicably agreeing, so that's all good. So we're on number 10, Spizzo. Spizzo dumps back to 7. Proni to Contino. Contino stuck and out, isolated. Oh, and after a bit of a bobble, number 10 with the goal. Number 10 with the goal, Spizzo. And that's 2-0 Italy after some very calm offense. But I think the Mexicans are just dialing in. They're just trying to get their defense, set on the Italians. Maybe they're going to get a turn in the next few points and they'll be able to convert that, but they need to make sure they get their offense points in first, I feel.
Yeah, the Mexicans seem to be trying to run a little ISO offense for that first cut, and the Italians are reading it well and shutting it down, so they're finding it hard to progress up the field. News in from other results in Pool C. Ireland just upset Australia in the Open Division, winning 11-9. So big ups to the Ireland team there. That was a very, very tight game. I was watching, very physical, but really enjoyable to watch. The Mexican O-line staying pretty much the same. Even though there are 2 down, seems David will still be out there, and Ivan Lopez. Italians with the pull. Possibly a little offside there, but we've no rules advisors here at the field at the moment, so no one to call it. 22, David. It's number 18, Rodrigo, faking that backhand. Tight pass, great catch by number 21, Francisco. Italians playing some passive defense, just trying to shut down the downfield options. Great pass, pinpoint backhand there. Number 25 in a little bit of trouble here. He gets it back to David, who swings it. Great swinging by the Mexican team here. Looking to jam it in, and first goal for Mexico! Great dump swing there, using the whole width of the field. And the Mexican team is going ecstatic. They're delighted with this first goal. Fair play to them.
Yeah, some lovely offense, especially around that zone, down the sideline on this side of the pitch nearest us. They weren't worried. They just kept hold of the disc and took every open option they were given. Actually, I really enjoyed that swing at the end there. They worked around the way that they've probably been training a lot for the last few months. You can see on the field now they've got a couple coaches, Pepe and York. Pepe actually plays for Chevron Action Flash here in the UK. But the sort of club teams that these guys play for, as we've already mentioned, are the likes of Phoenix and Malaki back in Mexico. So now Mexico down 1-2. The Italians now lining up against them to see if they can apply that pressure we were already talking about and get that potential break. The weather here today has been a bit damp, I think one would say. Not as sunny as yesterday's opening game, but it's a typical British summer, so we've got our brollies out and we've got our jackets on. Don't worry, mums and dads, we're making sure everyone's safe and sound. So back to the game. Number 13 on the disc, gets it back to 11. Inamura to 0-0 with a great grab from Farini. Farini gets it to 0. Marusi, lots of no numbers. To 23, there's a lot of quick movement, and it's just a bit too quick for number 43, Andrea Vadlivero. Yeah, Mexicans with their first chance to break here.
We'll see who goes to pick up the disc. I can't see this man's number, but he's got a lovely ponytail. Number 21, Francisco. It's a big face, high in the stock, and now goes for the inside break. Miscommunication, it's up there. Oh, and bobbled around, but the Italian's picking up now. Some nice swings. Well gathered by the Italians. Inamura trying to run the offense for his D-line. Inamura again. With the big backhand break. Beautiful break there. 38 looking, big around flick. Oh, misread by 00. There seems to be a call in the field, but oh, it's retracted. Play on now. Francisco going to pick up the disc. With Rodrigo setting up as his dump. Good defense from the Mexicans there, really shutting down that downfield options. Francisco giving that good disc a wipe. It's kind of slippy out here today. Setting up in a split stack. With first cut. Great catch by the Mexicans. To number 20, Carlos. Looking upfield. Back to Francisco. Sliding around the field, but no bother to them. Oh, and it's just a drop there by Carlos.
This is a very back and forth point, and you can see that pressure we're talking about from the Mexicans really having some effect on the Italian O-line here. But number 23 picking up for Italy, that's Riccardo Rossi. Rossi fakes off the open side throw, wants the break. But he's gone up, oh, and a really cheeky knifey backhand called up for 0. He wasn't sure for Marusi. And again, another very close disc to the floor, but now they're calling it down. Now the call has been made to be down, and there'll be a discussion. I can imagine this would be can get quite heated between these two nations. There's going to be some emotions, particularly here at the World Under-23 Championships. So it looks like it's contested and goes back. That's quite a good, nice spirit on show there. Just a very short discussion, contested straight back to the throw. The monster of a man, number 0, Riccardo Marusi, potentially the tallest under-23 player I've ever seen. Takes it back to number 13, who takes a lot of contact. That's Francesco Bray. Bray goes down the line to 11. Inamura takes on the around shot. Oh, lovely grab for that knife for number 23, Riccardo Rossi. We're seeing a lot of the same names here. Marusi, Rossi, and Inamura seem to be running that particular line. Thoroughly enjoyed the tit for tat there we had. I mean, I think the Mexicans had a go. The Italians had a couple goes. Eventually they got it in. So that's 3-1 now to Italy.
Marusi, the Italian stallion, just falling over in the back of the end zone there at the last point. Seems like he may have hurt himself. I didn't think anything could hurt that big man, but he's kind of limping off the field right now. A lot of clapping from the Mexican team as they're getting ready for their point. Almost dancing and singing as they take to the field. Yeah, I've yet to use my sunscreen yet, David, since I've been to the tournament. Unusual for me, usually I go through about 3 bottles a tournament, so it's making a more economical experience for the gingers at the tournament here.
I mean, most Brits struggle with the sun as it is, but as an Irishman, you must struggle a lot with this sort of cloudy, wet weather, right?
I'm in my element here, David. I say Evan Lepler would be shaking his boots if he's here right now. I don't know if he can handle these conditions. David with the big lofty flick. Oh, and an athletic bid there by the Mexicans, which can't get it to hand.
So yes, the man of the hour, Contino, told to get off the disc. Davide seems to be directing a lot from the sideline there. So he's instructed number 4 to be picking up. I guess he wants Contino in the dump position to strike into that power position. So number 4, Batazzi on the disc, gets it down the line to 5. Brancioloni back to Batazzi. Batazzi around to Contino. Nice grab under a bit of pressure, goes all the way around and to one of the Italian players, 35, Fezzivani, back to Contino. Lovely throw there. But there's a discussion, potentially an equipment call, which, for all they know, the WU23 officials isn't technically a call, it's just politeness. So we're back in with number 1, Trebi. Trebi's got nothing, wants to go down the line to Contino, but it's a poach in the lane there. Ooh. I would hedge my bets there and say, yeah, that's a good call. He's retracted the call there. I think the Mexican defender was ahead of him and had a better play on that disc.
Yeah, good spirit there by Italians. No game advisors during this game, but not needed so far, which I'm glad to see. David with a lofty backhand there to move it upfield. Mexicans got a bit of flow now in their offense. Big swing. Mexicans loving that swing. Ivan Lopez has been a vocal part of their offense so far. It appears to be a call. The Italians, Mexicans not favoring to use hand signals, which is making it a little tricky for commentators and spectators alike. I'd presume it was a pick call. So yeah, Ivan Lopez at the disc. Looking upfield, but break option, oh! Just didn't quite get it right there. A bit buttery, that flick.
Yeah, so now the Italians are picking up in their own end zone. This time, Contino allowed to pick up the disc. As Liam was mentioning, there's a lot of hand signals that aren't quite the WU23 standard. If you want to check those out, check out the Sky magazine video from Lecco last year, made by Hilko Bakima. A wonderful video outlining all of the WU23 hand signals that you may see on use over this week. So, Contino on the front of the end zone. Quite a few fakes, but takes on the break to 4, Batazzi. Batazzi straight back to Contino. Contino really wants to get on that break side. Not many cuts going there. Back to Batazzi. These two handlers working quite well together. He's got Batazzi though stuck in his end zone. Goes deep, and the Mexican almost smacks it back to his own end zone. But now right on the end zone line, the Mexican team
goes for the quick dishy pass, and it works. Number 10 there for Mexico managed to sweep that one up. If you're just joining us, this is the Sky Ultimate coverage of the World Under-23 Ultimate Championships, Italy versus Mexico. The wind and rain starting to pick up now a little. I don't think either nation is particularly used to playing in this wind and rain. Favored the Irish earlier on today.
And that went quite well, I hear, Liam. I mean, did you win that gelato bet you made with Mike Palmer?
Yeah, I hear he's having to leave his position as running the live stream to go make some mint chocolate gelato. Double scoop, I hear. It's not his first time losing a bet, and it definitely won't be his last, I'd say. Tom Styles give me thumbs up from across the field for some excellent commentary there. We'll have Tom Styles and Jules coach commentating the game later on. The USA women's versus Japanese women was sure to be a thrilling game. Mexicans now at the pull.
Mexico with the pull. It looks like it tapped in, so they'll either sideline it or they'll brick it. And brick. A shout out to some of the apparel sponsors here. VC doing a great job with a lot of the team gear. The flags here you'll see spread around. They're able to make this magazine jerseys you see, the show game jerseys you might see hanging around. And obviously our media friends of the show game, my team here at the show game, doing a great job with the newsletter and tweets, so make sure you follow those guys too. So, back to the game. The Italian Stallion 0. Marusi stuck on the disc, stuck on that sideline, goes for a cheeky high release flick to 11. Inamura with a strange pivot technique, gets it back to 23. Rossi stuck in. There's a lot of pressure on this upfield defenders, and a great layout block from the Mexican player on the Italian Stallion, who's at least a foot taller than him.
Yeah, that was Carlos there with a great look at events of the field. Oh, just miscommunication there. The Italians looking to get this one again.
Guess who? Inamura going to pick up, but no. Throws himself to number 23, Rossi. It's hard to see some of these numbers from up here, especially with the rain lashing down now. 23 goes deep straight away. He's under pressure. 2 players behind him. Oh, and a close bid, but he catches it with 2. Spectacular celebrations from the Italian team. Can't quite see who scored. I think it was number 3, Patolini. We're not quite sure if we're being heard, but we're going to keep talking anyway. So Mexicans still seem pretty high hope of getting some more points on the board. I believe it's now 4-2. The Italians, they're still in touch, and they're applying a lot of pressure upfield, as we saw that defense.
Yeah, a bit closer game than we saw earlier, where the Danes ran away against the Dutch team. Number 7, Proni now with the pull for the Italians. They've been drifting offside quite a bit, but nobody appears to be calling it. Mexicans happy with that pull anyway. Number 17 with a great cut there, but looked off. And behind the stall count, a big swing. Weighted perfectly. A little high release backhand to the Mexicans. Another backhand. They're loving those backhand breaks. Carlos with the disc now. Looking to get that swing. Ricardo Diaz now. Oh, just can't get that flick off.
Yeah, some unlucky offense there. It looked quite nice from the Mexicans, but number 7 picking up the disc. Proni goes deep straight away, but gives it straight back to the Mexicans. They're taking on some rushed options, I feel. With another chance to get another point on the board. I feel like it'd be very appropriate, Liam, for us to bet gelati. Italians as the on pitch. But let's get back to the game. We can come back to ice cream later.
Yeah, not just great ultimate players, but also great gelato makers over in Italy. And dropped there by the Mexicans, and Italia get to pick it up.
Italy back on disc. Losing some of the numbers here, but they've sent it into 7. Proni across to 50. Zeppa. It's a great name. Proni looks inside, doesn't like what he sees, now calls the foul. It's been a lot of contact, I feel, from both teams, and they've mostly swallowed it up. But here the Italians chosen to call the foul. Their stack is quite deep, really. They've got what looks like a 3-4 with a bit of a dog leg in the lane here. Rather than the breaks. No, it is in the open lane. It is in the open lane. So still Proni on the disc. It's got Zeppa. Zeppa as his dump poached. And a cluster of Italian players upfield. He looks dump, takes it to Zeppa, who can't quite make it, but makes sure with a two-handed layout. Now the upfield are very deep. They have an isolation with number 28. Nani goes into the middle to Prony. Prony slips, but able to pick it up, and oh, he threw straight to the Mexicans, who go deep straight away. Oh, a bit premature. The wind and the rain is playing havoc with these boys' throws. How are you feeling about the style of offense we're seeing from the Mexicans, Liam?
Yeah, the Mexicans looking good when they swing and takes the easy option, but sometimes they try a bit of a bodacious backhand to the end zone, and it's not working out too much for them. But the Italians are doing well to shut down their undercuts. Prony definitely given the main position of running this Italian offense. Again, all teams having to wipe that disc as they walk up the line because it is slippy out there.
Yeah, it's pretty wet. We're even having to wipe our board of all the names so we can read them. It's hard enough as it is. So Prony picking up and coming forward to the front of the end zone. I don't know what option he was looking for there, but it's hanging with 3 Mexicans underneath it, and it came off the head of number No Farina. The crowd here enjoying that. It's quite a comical moment, but giving the Mexicans a chance to get this goal in.
Disc put up, oh, it's fumbled there.
Italy tried to move it very quickly. Prony picking up, and another turnover. This point is becoming a bit of a farce. Slippy discs, maybe a couple bad decisions, but number 11 now on the disc, taking his time, takes on the reset.
Number 16, Ivan on the disc. Seems to be their primary cutter. Oh, we just can't get that throw off downfield. A bit of a feathery flick there.
You love your alliteration, Liam. Anyway, Prony makes a very good call, calls a timeout. In moments like this where there are 3 or 4 turnovers, you want to try and collect your thoughts, get your team on the same page. People will just be cutting in random places and at random times. And here Davide brings them together, gives them a bit of a talking to. Mexicans, I think, should be pretty happy with the way they're playing defense, for sure. They're really applying pressure to the Italians, who traditionally have a very flowing and clever offensive. Getting down to that break side, get it moving, keep the disc, stop the disc from getting stationary. And the Mexicans are definitely closing that down and stopping the first option that the Italians want.
Yeah, all players are receiving a mobile battery charger for their mobile phones at this tournament here. I'm thinking maybe at the World Ultimate Games they could give out umbrellas to all the players, because I could do one right now. If the weather's anything like it is today at next year, we could do it with a few more brollies. Big shout out to Eric, who is the sponsor of this event. Early recognition is critical. They do a lot with spreading the awareness of symptoms of diseases and just getting people to talk about symptoms they may have and getting it open and out there, and also promoting a healthy lifestyle through Ultimate. Surprised to see no game advisors, David, on this show field. I was advised that I would have them this whole time, but none here right now, but haven't been needed yet, thankfully.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. They've made there's been some calls, but they've definitely been resolved fairly, and if not contested, going back to the thrower. I think maybe later on in the game that might change, where things get tighter. But they're actually being used all over the tournament. You can't see the other pitches, but I've seen them being used in the Ireland Australia game. I believe they made a few calls in the Open Division, and I think one of the women's games as well earlier today. So they are being used. We can't see them here, but trust me, they are being trial and tested at length here. There's about, I don't know, 20 to 30 of them. I'll get those numbers for you later. Doing a fine job. But now Italy out of the timeout, staying up in a 3-4. Mexico, of course. Yeah, they've got a little bit of a poach. I would even offer that they could poach a little bit more into that break side with number 83. But Prony on disc. He looks upfield for a couple. Doesn't like what he sees. Number 35 does a clever job, comes back. That's Levitazzi. Number 1, Trebi, I think is fouled, uncontested. Yet again, we hear Davide, general of the sideline. And another throw behind the player. No call made, so Mexico with a short field to get this game back to 4-3 potentially.
Ricardo Diaz walk into this to pick this one up. A very deep vert stack in the back of the end zone. A little tasty inside throw there by Ricardo to get a score for the Mexicans. Great pass there, David.
Yeah, they definitely set that up really well. You can see they've drilled this end zone, doing a very standard thing of coming from the back, isolating just one player. And a very nice throw, considering how slippy this disc must be. That's not an easy throw to pull out. You've got to really grip it hard, really make sure you get that out nice and low. And that's, as I said before, is it 4-3 or 5? Yeah, 4-3 to Italy. The Mexicans are really banging on their door now. They're going to have to change something. Through a few throwaways, a few discs behind the receiver is not really what the Italians are needing right now in this key pool game for both teams. Whilst we're on shout-outs, we may as well shout out to the disc provider Discraft, who have made a very cool game disc here. It's promoting no drugs in sport and the WADA drug monitoring movement that is also in effect at WU23 international tournaments now. And there is also a commemorative disc with the London Under-23 logo, which you can buy from the VC stand, I believe for £10 British. So 11, Inamura, the mat. Ooh. They started with what I would call a flail, but an isolation on off a side stack. But Inamura was not happy, and he's now given the disc to the Mexican to show him exactly what he felt. I don't think I've ever seen that. I've seen reenactments, but I've never seen the offense give the disc up to show it. He's definitely got a man poached in the lane. But Mexico recover. Oh, a lot of contact on that grab. Well taken by 62. Mexico really applying the pressure now. 62 is able to get it out. And the deep shot goes after the layoff by 62. He's got time. Oh, but too much time. Maybe he was celebrating already because his defender had given up. It's 62. Gabriel Alarota, too blasé about that goal. And you can't do that in games like this with the Mexicans only a point behind, giving them a chance to break even.
I think you picked the perfect word there, David, with blasé. We see Francisco picking up this now, walking to the line with the Italian stallion on the force. He can no break or flick force needed, just force nothing with his big arms. Nice pass up the field. 14 out with it, looking to jack it deep. Good throw up field in this wind, but just not quite right. But a good effort considering the wind and rain here today. The Italians sauntering now up the field to pick up this one.
Yeah, that's probably the only thing that the game advisors would speed up here, the walking to the disc. There are new WU23 rules about dead discs and the opposition able to count, but a misguided option there that never came back in, supposedly. So the Mexicans again given short field by the Italians taking on options they probably shouldn't. The Italian stallion hasn't quite heard it. Number 0, Marusi. But they get to set up with a short field now, the Mexicans.
Francisco with a great opportunity now to get an upfield score against this wind. We see number 24, Roberto, isolated. And they go to front end zone, and another drop. Similar to the counterparts, the Italians making an easy drop in the end zone. Italians looking deep straight away to the middle of the field.
And another deep shot. Can 62 catch it this time, or is he going to have to make a bid? Oh! That was a lovely cut, a lovely throw, but not quite close enough. A very nice bid. Yet again, Mexicans taking their time with another chance to break the Italians.
Hopefully it'll be third time lucky for Gabriella there, unable to track that one down. Francisco again. Mexicans setting up in with two primary cutters in the middle. The number 23, Octavio, looking for 14, Rodrigo. Good cutting partnership there. Now looking for the reset. Great Italian defense. Francisco again. Great flick upfield. Deep options there, and just a poor throw by number 23.
Number 23 on the Italian side gives it to 62. We're hearing a lot of these numbers. And another deep option hanging. 2-on-1. It's a 2-on-1 option. Oh, Mexicans. I'd say that's good boxing. They're going to argue that's a foul for number 38, Luca Contini. We see a lot of these Italians on the European circuit playing for teams like Cruz from Bologna and Costa Rica. But I believe he's declined the call. I'd say that's a very good spirit there from the Italians. Not happy, but I think he knows he was beaten to the disco.
Yeah, Francisco again in a tight corner now. Not much options downfield. Stall camp growing. And just can't get that throw off the Italian gather.
Back on 38, Contino goes down to the front corner. Nice chilled out bit of offense with the short field, making sure Liam's off to get his jacket because it is now pouring down with rain. I'm just about covered, so I'll stay and keep you guys company. The whole crowd seems to be leading me, which is not as fun as you think. But anyway, I'm British, I'll deal with it. So, Italians up 5-3. If you have any questions you wanna send out to us, tweet to @David_Price, PRYCE, or @TheShowGame. I'll get that up in the stands. You can hopefully reply to that. If not, @Skyd Magazine, and someone will get back to you at some point during the day. We're here at the World Ultimate Championship, under 23 Ultimate Championships in London. It's beautiful weather, beautiful day. No, it's just a bit of rain. It's great ultimate conditions. Have a little look at Twitter now. Italy pulling to Mexico. Not able to keep it in, so a brick called. There's a lot of fake cutting going on in the stack. They started out high, but now they've gone with an isolation on off the front of the stack. Number 22, David Aparicio. And the Mexicans look deep. They've got steps. And a great layup, a grab for the goal! Mexico hold against Italian pressure in these beautiful British summer conditions. And look at them go there, celebrating, both teams celebrating regardless of the goal. Liam's back to join me now. How was that trip across the pitch there, Liam? You feeling a bit drier now?
I'm just glad, David, that I'm a qualified lifeguard, because I almost drowned halfway across the field there. But I got a nice close-up of that great Mexican play there. I almost could have looked away thinking, he's never going to get there, and then his fantastic grab. It appears to be 5-3 to the Italians. The Mexicans doing well staying in this game with the European powerhouse of Italy. It may be wet out here, but there's no dampening of the spirits. Both teams very enthusiastic on the sideline. David commanding again.
So Inamura picking up and dropping it straight away. I believe that's a strip, but here we go. So Inamura doesn't like what he sees upfield, goes sideways and backwards to 19. Big fake, but nothing there. Goes down the line to 62. Calrata back to 23. He just gives it right. No, sorry, doesn't give it. Fake me out. Goes down the line to 38. Contini looking deep again. Bit too floaty. Oh, and the Mexican not able to get the D. He had a little bit of time. He could have just taken one more step, and I think that would have been his. I think that a lot of the hucks that are going left to right seem to be coming off. They're just floating over the defenders far enough. What do you think, Liam? How do you think this game is shaping up?
Yeah, it's going well. It turns out to be a big dogfight. A lot of teams going for the Hawks downwind as they don't want to turn it over near their end zone on the upwind. And yeah, two great reads there in a row. Players doing well to judge this difficult wind and rain conditions. Lucas Contino now with the pull again. Number 4 Battizi getting very vocal on the line here, wearing the luminous sleeves. Being a bit of a stereotypical flamboyant Italian, but that's what we like to see. I love watching enthusiastic players. And a low pull, trying to cut through this wind. And David choosing to take it in the center of the field, breaking it. He has a little scarf on covering his nose. Obviously doesn't want to get the flu here. Mexicans again setting up a kind of two primary cutters in front of the handler. And great cutting there with the Mexicans. 55 getting the disc. Nino struggling at the dump off. Nice big swing. Great bid by the Italian, but just can't get there. Number 10, Gabriella. Appears to be a stall-out call, but I think it might be contested. Oh no, it's uncontested. Hand signal for a stall-out what's-up rule is patting your head like you would a small child if he's doing a good job. Except that you're doing it to yourself. Giving yourself a pat in the head when you stall someone out. Contino picking up the disc.
Taking a lot of pressure from his mark. Rides through it. To 0-0, Farina. Farina back to Contino, but again, Italians staying behind. Mexico look deep momentarily, but they're rushing a couple of these quick break options. Not able to convert that break. So number 4 picks up, really wipes the disc clean. Batazzi with those luminous Under Armour sleeves on. Bit of slipping. Contino, wants the disc. Down the open lane, gets it there to 0-0, Farina. Farina goes and gets it back on the give and go. It's now on this far sideline. Farina stuck. The break there, luckily for him to bail him out to Batazzi, who potentially travels, but I can't connect the disc for the goal. shout out to John Arisa Harkup of Rylands fame. Wants me to use a bit more inventive vocabulary, so I'll endeavour to work on that.
I'll try and use more Irish colloquialisms as well, if I can.
You're already getting the likes of buttery biscuit, backhand, and feathery flick. Let's see what else we can come up with over the week. So Italy knocking on the doorstep of Mexico. Farini gets it to Patazzi. Patazzi over to Contini. Some wonderful little interplay between the Italian handlers. Farini goes to the goal. And an emphatic spike there from number 10. Gabriel Spiso. And I think, I can't see the scoreboard. I think that's 7-4. Yep, that's 7-4. Couple more points and they'll be half. They're really kind of pulling away now, Italy, after a bit of a loss of concentration, I'd say, on the Mexicans' half.
Yeah, superb play there by the Italians. Interesting, the Italian and Mexican flag quite similar, except for the emblem in the middle for the Mexicans. I'm not sure what it is of, but I'll endeavour. We used that one already, didn't we? Endeavour. I will try my best to find out what that emblem is. I do like a good flag. A lot of flags flying around here at the Under-23 World Championships.
I'll help you out. I believe it's an eagle inside a wreath of some description. We could just, it's here, it's right here next to our faces. I mean, I know you're not looking at us probably right now, but in between Japan and the Netherlands, there's the Mexican flag with a, yeah, I was right, an eagle underneath, on top of a wreath of some description. So I believe there's a timeout called. Probably, I'd say Mexico have called this. We have no indication here. They're probably trying to regroup a little bit, get their heads back in, and refocus their offense and their athletic defense. That's a good verb. That's a good adjective. They have played very well on defense, I'd say. Italians probably want to calm themselves down. They're taking on a few rushed options on offense. And I'd like to request an umbrella for the next one of these, please. Thanks.
Yeah, 'tis a lovely flag, the Mexican flag, has to be said. The Mexicans right now could use a few sombreros to keep their heads warm, I'd say, in this rain. Usually used to keep the sun out, but yeah, not today, I'm afraid. They're looking a bit cold and wet now, all huddling together for warmth. Some of the fans in the crowd taunting us with their umbrellas as we are two very soggy commentators right now. Timeout's taking a bit long. I know when the game advisors here, they're quick to rush them back onto the field, but Italians and Mexicans quite happy now, having a little siesta in the middle of the day. Good chant there by the Mexicans, and a clap to follow. Well, they may be losing a game, but I think they're winning the singing and dancing competition, which unfortunately there are no medals for, but they're winning in my books.
Yeah, these Latin American and Eastern European teams that have quite emotional styles of ultimate, some wonderful celebrations and some wonderful singing and dancing. I used wonderful a lot there. Let's try another one. Ecstatic singing and dancing to bring some joy to this tournament. And maybe the rain has stopped. I don't know, I'm getting ahead of myself. Typical Brit, I'll jinx myself. At least it's not snowing, hey? No, don't snow, please don't snow. Right, so back into the game. Mexico pulling to the Italians. I can't actually see the disc, but no, sorry, the Italians pulling to the Mexicans. They just lost the disc momentarily. And let's see if the Mexicans can get another on the board in this half. Apply some pressure on the Italians once more.
Yeah, good pull by the Italians. Difficult one to catch. David again running this offense. Easy swing from there as he moved up the field. Good play by the Mexicans. Getting a bit static now. And dropping an easy pass there, the Mexicans. They can't afford to keep doing this, David.
No, it's really giving away the yardage to the opposition. Both teams have done it a few times now, but the Mexicans have definitely more recently giving the Italians some chances to score quickly. Just looking so relaxed on the stream for you. So, Italy knocking on the doorstep here. Number 28, Nani. And a call is made. I don't know what quite happened. Davide never happy on the sideline, having a go at someone. I wish I knew Italian better and I could tell you, but it's a turnover. Oh, but a violation in the stack. And this is sometimes where a game advisor or whatever could help to speed up calls and speed up violations. But actually an injury has been called, so the player must leave the pitch. So Mexico lucky to get the disc back on their offense point. And whilst the rain to clear. Oh, as I was saying, clearing disc will not getting slippy, but they then turn away straight away.
Davide Mori, the only coach on the sideline, not wearing a jacket. It's well known that Davide's ego generates his own body heat, so he's nice and warm on the sideline there. The Italians going to pick this one up.
They're making me laugh a bit too much here, as Davide does have a bit of a reputation. So, number 7, Proni on the disc. Whoa, with a wonderful layout block for the Mexicans there, not giving up. Even if they're a couple points behind, they're still tight on their man. A lovely defensive play.
David there with the huge D. And it drops. And every great play seems to be bounced out by a silly drop by the Mexicanos.
Yeah, they make great plays and then just rush the next option. Italy taking a timeout. I'd say a great call. A few turnovers. They want to make sure that they can get this one in and stretch their lead that little bit further. So, Liam, it might be time for a bit of a gelati bet. I mean, maybe not in this game, but maybe on another. Maybe from what you've seen overall, maybe in this pool. Could you say who would maybe top the pool, or you have no idea? Okay, cool. Well, we'll come back to you with that idea. We'll come back to that later this evening, maybe. We do have some other games on today, as already mentioned. Tom Stars and Jules Murray, the GB coach, will be commentating on the final game, I believe at 5:30, 3:30. I'm being corrected. Here on the show pitch. Make sure you tune in, skydemagazine.com, for more wonderful streaming and wonderful commentary. I'm really enjoying the word wonderful. Maybe we'll have some better vocabulary there.
Yeah, David, I just sent Tom Styles down to the bookshop to buy a Thesaurus, and hopefully we'll have a few more superlatives to add to the list. Maybe get your phone out there, I'll see what we can figure out. I think I just saw some spectators putting their umbrellas down. Maybe a bit early guess that one, but I think there's definitely less rain now anyway, which is good. It's about as good as we've gotten. I'm wearing parachute pants today, as inspired by MC Hammer, and I have to say it was a bad choice. Bad choice on the Hammer pants. They are weighing me down. Predictions for this group, I'm not so sure. I've been mostly looking at the group of death, Pool A, where you have GB, USA, and Colombia, and I'm really excited to see some matchups there. The top 3 from each pool advance in the open division, and then results from those groups carry on to the next stage. So it's really important that even if you do get through to the next stage, that you're carrying wins, you're carrying losses. It's very difficult to get through if you come in as that 3rd seed in your group.
Just had a few tweets through to the show game. Western Ultimate saying the Italians probably not enjoying our summer very much. I'd tend to agree. A few missed thrown discs, but they're still up in this game. And another tweet from the tournament organizer, actually, from Luke Tobizovic, sitting back in his dry house, which is just behind the fields here. But he says he's thoroughly enjoying the stream. He wants Mexico to do well and enjoy their tournament here. So Italy back on the disc after the timeout. Number 1 on the disc. Gets a very nice break. Trebi to 7. Proni. It seems to be a 3-man weave here between 1-7. That's Proni. Oh, wonderful layout bid on defense by Mexico. Yet again, applying this Latin American pressure to the Italians, who just can't handle them. But can the Mexicans handle in this wind and rain? Let's see.
Yeah, the Mexicans have been really struggling with this upwind offense, usually getting 1 or 2 passes to get it, and then a little slippy drop. Doing a bit better now. David having no problem running the offense, but it's just the continuations downfield that seems to be the struggle. Not seeing much deep cuts, or the handlers don't seem to be looking very deep either. Good feet there by the Mexicans to stay in bounds. Oh, cheeky catch there by 19 Gonzalez, who sends it deep. It's floating just short of the end zone. The Mexicans now the chance to get an upwind score. Goal! Go, 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 Mexico!
Yes, finally Mexico get the deep shot out and get the streaking guy to with the little dish off. I believe that's now 7-5 to Italy. Hopefully the scoreboard is on the other side of the pitch and we can't quite see it, but I think that's 7-5. Liam now checking his Facebook. I think he's getting some shout-outs from his friends in Ireland and maybe even in America. Liam had a little trip out to the stateside, I believe last summer, right? He was lucky enough to play with some very cool people, meet some nice Frisbee players, and did some great work with Sky Magazine. How was that did you enjoy that? Did you make some friends for life?
Yeah, it was a fantastic experience. I spent 13 months over there, kind of living in a van mostly, and just bouncing around between Ultimate players. And the love I felt from the Ultimate community was just amazing. Anytime I messaged the club saying I could use the shower and some friends, they were always inviting me out for beers, and I find it hard to move on to the next town. Yeah, I had such an amazing time playing in some big tournaments, mostly party tournaments, Layout, Caimana, Trouble in Vegas. Usually playing with different teams every time. A fantastic experience. Yeah, just my phone beeping there was actually my Tinder. I've been seeing what the Tinder has been like in London recently, and haven't found much Ultimate players. I'm going to see what it's like, but I'll keep you updated on how it gets on.
I will follow that Twitter feed for the Tinder update. Tinder update from Liam Grant. But back to the Frisbee. This is it now. We're now on the central disc with Farina, 0-0. It's quite a messy offense here. Very little upfield, but they're able to break through. The Italian Stallion with a quick offload to Farina. Farina back to the Italian Stallion, 0, Marusi. Marusi returns it to 23, Rossi. Rossi goes down the middle to 62, but a pick is called. As I said earlier, the Italians do like to give and go a lot. So you're going to see a lot of quick disc movement between the players. 62 on the disc now. Colorata. Tied up a little bit, they've now only got 3 back. Gets across to 23, but under a lot of pressure. 62 goes bladey into the end zone and high. 2 Mexicans underneath it, and Mexico come down with it.
Yeah, number 7, Manuel, getting that great D. Mexicans moving it to field number 14 with it now. Mexicans just clogging that undercuts the whole time. They need to stretch it deep a little more, I think.
In Mura there, just picking up off the floor and throwing almost the same throw to 23. Rossi gets back into Mura, but again, Mexican pressure upfield, stopping that first look they want, that little inside break. Not quite good enough.
Nice high-release backhand there from the Mexicans. 14 with it now, looking deep. Rodrigo, oh, didn't quite come off. I just created my Twinder account. As coined by David Price. I'm now going to make a Twinder where I'll be tweeting my Tinder matches and letting you know all about them and how I'm getting on. So check out @Twinder.
I'm going to copyright that. Anyway, the Rossi going deep straight away to the one and only Italian stallion, who falls over but gets the grab. A massive fake and I would argue a travel even, but he loves it. A bit of a Balotelli of celebration. And Italy go 8-4, 8-5 up. It's a bit of a scrappy point there, but Italy showing a bit of their experience, able to hold on to the disc just at the key moment there.
Yeah, I felt the world shake there when the Italian stallion hit the ground and did that kind of layout flick throw there. Debatable whether it was a travel or not, but style and finesse as always from our Italian stallion. And there's a timeout now. Or no, is it? Yeah, it's halftime now, so we have a 10-minute break. As always, we're going to try and interview someone during the half.
Liam's just going to go and grab someone. I hope you guys are enjoying the live stream back at home. I believe we're still live. The weather has calmed down a little bit. You're going to get a lot of weather updates from me. As a typical British person, I will complain and not enjoy it even when it's nice weather. But here we've got the very typical British summer. Bit of rain, bit of wind. Hopefully by the end of the week it'll clear up and we'll have some nicer weather for the finals and the business end of the tournament. So here I'll pass over to Liam, who's got someone from the Mexican team to talk to you guys.
Hi, it's Liam Grant here. I'm here with Eduardo, who is helping out the Mexican team with their campaign, and he's going to tell us a little about their preparation. So how was this team, when was this team picked, and what was the road like to get here?
They are from all over Mexico, and they've been working together for almost a year now. Most of them have been playing for a couple of years now, but there are some of them who are very, very experienced with over 8 or 10 years of experience, and some of them with 6 months or less of experience. So it's a very mixed team in experience-wise. And the preparation has been with a lot of intensity, with a lot of commitment. That's the strong word they've been working on. Commitment. Everyone has to be helping each other to reach higher and higher levels, and they're showing it. This morning they won against Spain, and they're doing a great job, I think, against Italy. Very intense game, very well spirited, which is another thing we're trying to work on. Mexico is a very spirited team. We try to be so. And they are trying to show that with a lot of intensity, with a lot of commitment, and helping each other to reach their maximum level.
So now I know a lot of countries like yourselves have traveled quite far to get here. Did you do any funding campaigns, or how did you afford to get here?
Yeah, they were selling coffee from the coffee places making in Mexico, all year round, and they were making all these campaigns and raffles and stuff to get money to get here. Actually, some people couldn't be here because of money issues and traveling expenses. But fortunately, we have a big roster here, and they're showing their best level thanks to the campaigns.
Yeah, it's great. It's good to see some entrepreneurship come in with Ultimate, you know, kind of motivating people to work hard to get that money to come over here, because it ain't cheap, but it's definitely worth it. So who would you think are the standout players so far for the Mexican team?
You can see number 16, Ivan from Querétaro, from Team Malaki. He's a great player. There's also Uli, number 19, and his brother David. There are a couple of great players that have been playing for a long time. And I could say, for example, Nino, who's been playing for a little shorter time than some other players like David or Uli, and he's showing a great level this tournament, which is really great to see.
So, Rodrigo, what is the Ultimate scene like in Mexico? What are the big tournaments? How many players do you have active now?
I think it's over 800 players or something like that. And the tournaments are always a lot of fun. The level, though, is not as good as we would like. As we have United States just up north, and they have like a crazy level. We try to go there, but we also go for very fun tournaments and having a great spirit all around with a great community which is growing all day, all year round, and supporting each other and having a lot of fun with many tournaments.
Yeah, that's great. How do you think Mexico will do in this group? Tell us about your predictions.
Oof, I think they're showing that they can surprise a couple of teams. I was listening to the Denmark Netherlands game, and they remember that Mexico was last place in the other under 23 tournament, but I think that's not going to be the case now. I think they're going to be mid-table or a couple of surprises, even better.
Yeah, I think just getting that experience from 2 years ago is really going to help you to improve and build on it this year. We see like Denmark and the Netherlands, that was their first time here. So maybe the Netherlands didn't have that experience, but obviously Mexico carrying through from their performance in Toronto 2 years ago to probably do a bit better this year, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. You can expect Mexico to beat a couple of teams, and if they are lucky enough to play teams like the US, Japan, or Australia, I think the game is not going to be so easy for the higher team, but Mexico, I think, will get to the mid table.
All right, thanks very much, Rodrigo, and best luck the rest of the tournament. It's great to have you here. David has now returned to me. I think he just popped off for some tea and crumpets. Big fan of the tea and crumpets, which are provided by Luke, one of the TDs. Yeah, I think Luke is just coming over from his warm house now to bring us some tea and crumpets.
Is that true, or are you just making it up to get tea and crumpets? Because I'm all game for tea and crumpets. I like strawberry jam, for anyone who wants to bring any jam with them. Maybe some clotted cream would go well, but that's a bit of overkill, I'd say. It's just jam, some nice butter, melted in, and I'll have one milk, no sugar. Liam?
Just be Guinness and Spuds for me, I think, David. Stick to the old faithful. Gladly sponsored by the tournament. They said as much Guinness as I want, I think it said. Yet to receive any, but this is what I've been told. A big barrel full of Guinness is it's the currency used mostly in Ireland now, with the euro getting a bit shaky. Aren't they? I had no idea the camera was being pointing at us now. If people would like to look at my lovely pants that I got from a traveler from India, so I'm doing this to rep for Team India, who could be my favorite team, even though obviously I'm supporting the Irish, but I'm really enjoying the Team India story. Also got a Flash the Sky as well. As you can see, me and David are bulging out of these Sky jerseys.
Enough of that stupid stuff. We can now see that both the teams are out on the field. They're all throwing. And I think that's probably a good call. With a lot of turnovers due to throwing and catching errors in that first half, it's probably both sets of coaches, probably wanting their players to get more practice on the disc, because it's only their second game of the tournament. They've got a long way to go. It's a whole week. You only get 1 or 2 games a day, and so you've got to make sure that every game counts on the day. Oh, Liam is now stripping, as you probably see. He's enjoying it a bit too much. It has warmed up a little bit. It's still quite windy, like you can see. The flags behind us are whipping away, left to right on your screen. I hope you're all enjoying this stream from your lovely warm houses. We are hoping to potentially get some umbrellas, or maybe we'll go in the tent next time. But I'm actually quite enjoying sitting here chatting with Liam. Maybe we'll do a bit of a jog up and down the stairs to warm ourselves up in a minute. As I said earlier, shout out to some of the sponsors here: Discraft, VC, the Show Game. Ulti-Photos are also here taking some wonderful snaps. Make sure to check out their daily gallery highlights. The same for the Show Game. Some highlights from yesterday, and there'll be some team photos hopefully later on today. Liam is enjoying himself a bit too much. I'm just sporting the Frisbee look, all in white, the Eternal Virgin.
This week, David, I'm wearing random Indian and VC. I'll be going around the stadium later and figuring out who's wearing who at this London Fashion Week, aka the World Under-23 Ultimate Championships, being presented by Sky Magazine. Fashion is key. You got to look good to play good, David. Everyone knows that.
At the moment, who would you say has the best jersey? It's always a good. We like this this sort of chat in Ultimate. As Bommy would say from Get Horizontal, hashtag Ultimate Life. I'm kind of playing with the idea that the Mexicans here have a very nice jersey. I quite like the look of the Chinese Taipei jerseys. Sadly, they won't fit me as they're quite small types. But what's your choice for the moment?
Yeah, I really like the Japanese gear. I'm afraid as well. I don't think they'll have any for a man of my stature, but the Asian teams, though, it's good to have the full tracksuits, and you always see them jogging together in a very uniform fashion. It looks really impressive and really professional. Yeah, the Mexican jersey is nice. I'm going to big up the Irish jersey as well. Very simple this year. David shrugging his shoulders at me. Yeah, so many Ultimate Apparel companies now that there's quite a lot of choice and a lot of design out there. And I think as a sport, we're pretty good at the old fashioned. I think there was a trend there for a while where people would just go for the most. David pointing at my pants there and shrugging. I think there was a while there when sublimated jerseys became a trend where people just go for the busiest jersey they could get, put as much hashtags and dragons and stuff good onto it, but things have calmed down now, thankfully. I do like this Italian jersey, simple but effective. David's signaling me to sit down there. The dancing show is over for now, but tune in tomorrow where I'll be doing the samba? Mexicans will be on defense now.
Yeah, we've had our halftime show there. We'll get back to the serious stuff, the Ultimate here today. So, Italy coming out on offense with a 9-5 lead. If I was to put gelato on it, but I'm not, but if I was, I would probably say the Italians will probably trade out or get a couple breaks in the second half. Let's just see how that throwing practice went for both teams, and you never know. Definitely enjoying the Mexican defense. I just don't see them scoring many more points off of taking the disc off of the Italians and getting their turns back. But Italy here on offense. Cheeky little bit of football there. Number 13, Francesco Bray wants the break. Mexico playing some good defense upfield. Again, another hut from 38, and it's floating once again. More, the Mexican goes up early. Can't quite stop the grab by the Italian. He's still down. No, he's fine. He seems fine, but a good goal there from Italy. Very simple, smooth offense. 10-5.
Yeah, Gabriella Calarotta being a deep option used by Italians quite often there. Good pressure from the Mexican defense, but Calada just able to box out there. Both teams starting to settle down a bit, less drops than we saw earlier on in the game. I'm feeling pretty warm now, David. I'm okay just in my VC jersey right now. Shout out to Manuel Valeria, number 23, who is a Mexican player who's actually living in Dublin at the moment and playing with a team, Gravity, there. So he's probably a bit accustomed to the weather as opposed to some of the other players. He's got time to acclimatize. I know the Mexicans were late for their first game this morning against Spain as they missed the bus and had to jog to the fields. So they're plenty warm from that, I'd say. The pull from the Italians. Most teams struggling to make it past the brick mark, throwing upwind. And center to David. One player isolated upfield. Oh, and a look, jacking it deep to number 19. Goal! The Mexicans really now went in. Beautiful put there by David. Really difficult to weight that throw down that wind, but just put enough touch on it. That was number 19, Gonzalez, with the goal.
22 to 19.
I missed that. I was on Twitter. Not Twinder, Twitter. But from the sounds that Liam was making, it sounded very exciting. And from this half, it's 1-1. So everyone holding serve right now. Italy will go back out on offense. Don't know if you can quite see. We've now found Luke Tobiasevic, the tournament organizer, just messing around with some bins, but maybe he might bring us some crumpets later on in the tournament.
Shout out Dave for just pronouncing Luke's second name. I'm going to have a stab of it. Tobias Flyer Kishmaivovic? Tobias Flyer kind of Shishamish. We'll call him Luke Murphy from now on, okay? We got the Mexicans now with the pull up wind.
And that's probably one of the first pulls up winds to be in a Mura on the disc. There's a bit of a poach there on the open lane, but Patazzi able to get out. 0-0 now. Farina to Marusi, the Italian standing with a really weird inside-out break, but it gets it out. There are 4 people around the disc. It's a very condensed offense there by the Italians. I believe a fast count has been called. As I said already, there are quite a few players around the disc. They have a lot of space upfield, but and he has taken that straight on. A very nice backhand break to the break side, floaty just enough so the defender can't get across the disc. And a goal there for number, if you just turn around, number 00, Farina. Still holding serve. 11-6, Italy.
Yeah, cheeky pass there to the open man in the end zone. I don't think the defender was expecting that inside-out backhand. Davida again being the tactical mastermind for the Italians. Let him know what the story is. Contino again with the pull. Nice floaty pull, but just dropping short of the brick mark. See David sauntering over to pick up this disc in no rush. And his deep option straight away. He looks it off. Looking for that dump. And this is a buttery biscuit into the air and taken down by number 17, Carlos. David again. Beautiful swing to Juan Manuel. Juanma. Again, nice backhand to David, who boxes his fender out. Good swinging here by Mexicans. 17-0 looking for that inside flick, but just can't get it off. Juan Manuel, bit physical on the mark, and looks like there's a call here. Contino arguing that he was pushed at, play still a bit developing, they don't realize there's a call. Players now waving their arms over their head to signal there's a call on the field. One man, Coutinho, a bit of a heated talk, but looks like they're going to figure this one out. Number 4, Battisti, getting really intense on the dump cut here, really shutting it down, did well. And yeah, one man just turfing at this there. Looked like he was under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I think after the call, he had a bit of a high stall there and got stuck. But anyway, Battisti on the disc with a chance to break. Gets it to Contino. Contino, oh, to number 6, Massarini. But I think a foul is called on the throw. Didn't quite go to where he intended. Back to Contino, Contino on the disc. Goes into the open lane to number 5, under a lot of pressure. Branciano, number 1, Trebi looking for... Oh, sorry, quick dish off to Contino. Gets it straight back to number 6, Massarini. It's a lot of quick movement, like we said earlier. Battisti fakes deep, takes the backhand on, but it's just too knifey and too short. Mexico taking their time, walking up to the disc. They want to hold on to this to make sure they can stay within contact of the Italian team.
Battisti with some lovely high-vis Under Armour and beautiful top bun, but not so beautiful throws there. Deep options there for the Mexicans to look it off. Working under with Carlos, so a bit of contact there. Carlos appears to be holding his back. These two are having some battle, Carlos and Contino. Contino going to help his player up and gives him a nice hug. That's what we like to see. Discussion continues. It looks like it was an uncontested foul. Nice under gainer. Oh, that was a great cut, but just couldn't hold on to the disc.
Contino back on the disc once again. Contino, yep, back on the disc once again. Setting up in a 3-4. It looks like some sort of flood play. Gets it to number 6, Massarini. Massarini with 3 dumps. Isolates to number 1, Trebi. Trebi goes off with a very cheeky inside-out deep shot. Right back to Massarini. There's some very nice isolations of upfield cutters. One would argue that they will clog the reset, but there's a very nice bit of play and a very nice throw there from Trebi. I think that's a break. 11-5, Italy.
Yeah, deliciously weighted backhand there for Italians. Giving his receiver plenty of time to run that down with grace. This game kind of slipping away from the Mexicans. Italians showing their strength in their deep roster. those of you just joining us, this is Leon Grant and David Price with Sky Magazine, covering a pool game from the World Under-23 Ultimate Championships. Things going very well so far for the tournament directors and everyone involved. Big props as well to Mike Palmer in the video production room. Pretty much flying solo in there, having to do a lot of work. Along with having to buy me gelato as well, so he's got a busy day ahead of him. Still no Aussie teams on the streaming list, but I have a feeling we might be seeing some later on in the week if Mike gets his way. Nice floaty pull there. The Italians pinning them back in the corner of the field. That one just getting caught by the wind, but swept up by number 23, Manuel. To number 14, Rodrigo. The Mexicans seem to have a swing option all the time, but struggle downfield. The Italians happy for the Mexicans to swing, but not giving them that upfield cut.
Wow, Contino picked. Oh, I thought he missed timeout totally for number 8 with a great saving bid for Dellavedova. Gets it to 77. Machia. Dellavedova yet again saving the offense. Gets it to 33. One of 2 players, Scremin or Trombetti. Number 8 playing a lot of offense this point. 77 with what could arguably a very big travel. Goes for the end zone to 28. Enrico Nani with the goal. Again, another break. Italy running away with the second half. That's 2 breaks this half. 12-5. I think. Yeah, again, we can't see the scoreboard. I'm pretty sure 12-5 is the current score.
Are you guys streaming this?
I think the fans at home can't see the scoreboard, so fair play to Mike Palmer updating the scores. We're struggling to see it here as we're sitting in the back of the grandstand. My eyes and Price's aren't the May West, but Price has now gone down to look, got his spectacles out, and it's 12-6. David Price enjoys wearing a monocle, not known by many people. He's now telling me the score, which I already know. Thank you, David. And it seems to be another timeout call. All teams using their timeouts effectively. Davide bringing some intensity to the circle. He's got you hear his brutish voice a mile away. I have to say I'm a big fan of Davide. I know I'll get him a bit of stick, but that's just because I love the man. Brings a lot of character to the ultimate scene and well known across Europe. Pays for Cus Bologna, who had a great performance at Tom's tourney early on in the year. Both teams cheering at the same time there, trying to make a cacophony of sound. Who will be the loudest?
I'd probably say Mexico were louder there. That's just my call. Right. Out of the timeout. Italy being on quite a tall line here. Getting some defense. And hoping to get another break. Games are here capped at 17. Obviously, there's a soft cap due to time. I think we're almost getting towards that end of the game. Rather than it being, we've lost some rain, sorry, here, but now it's still quite windy. Pulls up. Mexico now on offense.
Surprised Davi didn't pick up that disc. But he gets free on the dump. Deep options there. And sends another feathery flick. The Mexican adjusting well with that great catch. Looking to punch it in end zone. Goal, Mexico! Some great play by the Mexicans there.
19 assists.
Some tasty offense there by the Mexicans.
That bid has kind of got me a bit shocked. I didn't expect that to come out quite there, but it was a wonderful grab. Took his time. It's very often that someone makes a great play and turfs it straight into the ground. We call it conservation of greatness here. I don't know what everyone else calls it. But many a time have I seen someone make a fantastic play and just ruin it within the next few seconds. So great composure from the young team here from Mexico. 12-7. They're able to get on the board now in this half. Sorry, this portion of the half. They have scored this half. Let's see if they can apply some pressure to the Italians and get a break. So Italy ready, hands up. Davide now on this sideline. Can hear even louder than before. Mexico with the ball. Only slightly offside. We've got it in, and it's a nice roller to Inamura. Inamura picks it up, centers it to Patazzi. Patazzi with a nice laid man, but the Mexicans get a wonderful bit around the cut there. And they're right on the brick mark of the Italians with the potential to break back. They've lost two this half. Can they make one back?
Yeah, number 7, Emanuele Valencia there with a great D. The Italians trying out a side sack there and didn't quite come off. And a great read by the Italians themselves. Farina now busting deep after getting that D.
Yeah, wonderful bid. There, Farina got straight to 16, who gave it to Patazzi. And an easy goal with the number 33, who we don't have on our list, from Mexico. Overbidding and allowing the Italians an easy goal, giving away that opportunity for a break that they really needed at this point in the game. Italians up 13-7 in this game. Not got an idea about the time, but we must be getting close to the end of the game in terms of time. We can see other teams warming up on the other sideline and on the other pitches. The tournament here has 15 pitches, I believe, and that means that we can have almost one game empty next to the game we're playing, so teams can warm up pretty easily before they even get onto the pitch they're actually going to play on. So very well organised in that sense from the tournament directors.
Yeah, we're currently streaming 3 games a day at the moment, but we might be able to squeeze 1 or 2 more in there depending on how we feel and if we can get enough food into our bellies. A pretty small crew here this week, but we're going to do our best to get as much coverage as we can. The US women's team has just arrived on the sidelines. I'm excited for their game later on. Good pull by the Italians. Back to their Mexicans, back to their main man, David. And that one's just smacked by the Mexicans.
Straight to Contino, who's been a kind of I was about to say the main guy for the Italians, but he doesn't quite get it to his receiver's hands. You'd argue receiver error. Mexico back on offense, and another one-pass turnover. Neither team able to connect on their offense points. Bit of a crowd forming here in the stands as the rain has disappeared. We've got some of the Germans here in the crowd with us, and just some local fans. But here we go, back to the game with Batazzi on the disc. Goes upfield to number 6, Massarini. Massarini into the middle to number 1, Trebi. Trebi finds Batazzi, the fluorescent. Number 8. Oh, and number 8 can't quite connect with number 6. That's Dellavedova to Massarini. Unable to connect as a upfield continuation, giving Mexico the disc right back on their own end zone.
Mexicans going for a split stack at the moment. Good setup there with the first cutter clearing out to make space for number 2, and just can't get that connection then. I'm liking this Mexican offense, but there's just some few handling errors. I like how they're set up, but just not executing very well.
Yeah, there was actually a hand block in there for Massarini. Nice force and the eventual block. So Batazzi able to bring it back in where the block occurred. He's being corrected by sideline that it's a bit further back. Waits for his mark. So Batazzi centers to 8, Dellavedova. Bit of a weave going on here. And Contino goes straight for the end zone. And a greatest attempt, but not quite. Not quite. No one there prepared to save it for the goal there. Once again, Mexico in a very tight situation. Like Liam says, they've got a nice split stack set up. My guess is they're going to get it to the back of the split stack, as predicted.
Good call there, David. Ivan Lopez, Jelly setting up as that first cut at the back of the stack. And a great grab by number 8.
Dellavedova. It's to Batazzi, then to 7. Again, Dellavedova playing quite the point here. It's on the disc, but there's a call upfield, probably a pick. Short discussion. That's 3 whistles. I think that might mean that we're in the soft cap. Batazzi on disc. There's a lot of movement out around him. Ooh, and he tosses one to Dellavedova, who just catches it on his elbow, gives it straight back to Batazzi. Batazzi goes knife to, oh, that was very cheeky and unexpected. Contino comes down with it. Mexicans not very happy with themselves, I'd say. They should have really had a man on that to get a block. Score is now 14-7. But I'm going to make a call and say it's going to 15. Those 3 whistles from the timekeeper during the point.
Yeah, the Grandstand Arena is starting to fill up now, David, as the U.S. women's team arrive. They seem to be traveling numbers with a big crowd behind them. I'm sure the men's and mixed team will be here if they're not playing to cheer them on. Antonio Padarelli there with the pull for the Italians. The Italians not choosing to have much of a run up there, just kind of hanging out on the line. And this one looks like it's going to drift into the grandstand. And a poor performance from the spectator in the grandstand, unable to catch that or making a pass afterwards. Would not have been selected for this Italian team, I'd say. The Italian stallion waiting anxiously on the brick mark. A great force. Good throw. The Mexicans going now for a vert stack in the middle. Number 19 struggling at the dump off, gets it off now. Beautiful flick there. Oh, a great brid by Ivan, but just couldn't get there.
Yeah, it looked promising in the early stages of that offense. But Mexico, again, not able to connect on the second or third pass. Something they'll have to work on over the week. But number 33 for Italy picks up with the potential to win the game. Overthrow. Oh, to the Mexican, just about makes the D. And they go deep straight away. Is it floating far enough? No. Too much whip on it. And some of my teammates will probably say, too much gym, not enough track. So, number 33 picking up. Sadly, we don't know exactly who that is. There's a 2 on our roster, so that could be either Scremin or Trombetti. I'll give them an equal shout out. It's only fair. He'll bring it forwards to the front of the end zone. For those of you that don't know, when the disc lands in the end zone, you can either start from where it's dropped, set your pivot point, or bring it to the front of the end zone, depending on your potential offensive preference. Another slip for number 10, Spizzo. Spizzo looking back. Doesn't like what he sees from his resets, but gets it downfield to 5, who resets it straight away to Stremin or Trombetti. Trombetti goes high and around to the stallion. The stallion can't quite make it. He's gonna call something. I don't know if he's. There's an injury call for the Mexican. I still think it's gonna hold as a turn though. Great bid on defense there by number 21, Francisco Sentiez.
Yeah, Francisco doing well to get up and around the Italian stallion, and puts one out into space. Great play. Oh, the Italian stallion still on the ground. Seems to have hurt his tree trunks there. Legs for the rest of us, but this man is a big man. I'll tell you something for nothing. He probably eats a lot of trees, so I'd stay at home. So 14-8 now. Italians with a chance to score on their O-line to win the game.
Yeah, a nice consolation there for the Mexicans to get a break there at the end of the. Sorry, not a break, to hold their offense. Let's see if they can hold up the Italians even more from this win. It'd be great to see a last point comeback. I'm sure the tournament organizers would love a pushback game into the next slot, but they've probably made some sort of contingency for that as well. So Mexico pulling to Italy, making sure they're not offside. Really deep run up and a roller. It's going almost all the way through. Bit of a fumble for 23. Inamura with a low pickup. Blocked here. Who don't seem to understand the idea of a window, because you're not a very good one. But a goal for Italy, who finished the game off in style. Number 43 scoring the final goal. And that's that, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed that game here from Italy and Mexico. A lot of passion shown on pitch, emotion shown on the sideline by the likes of Davide Mori, Pepe and York from the Mexican coaching staff. And that's game. Liam, your thoughts?
Yeah, really enjoyable game. I guess now I'm just excited for our next live stream of USA Women's versus Japan Women's. Both teams ready here, warming up. Two very contrasting warm-ups. The Americans doing a kind of a break mark drill. The Japanese women jogging down the field, tossing this between each other. Really contrasting styles of ultimate from each country, so it'll be interesting to see how that match gets on. It'll be Tom Styles and Jules commentating that game, so we'll see you then. Thanks very much.
Thanks for tuning in, Sky Magazine. Here the final score was 15-8 to Italy. Catch you later. Out.